Hello and welcome to Elevation Training. Today's topic is one really close to my heart, it has been for a few years now, and this is around documenting what your staff do. Now, there's lots and lots of layers about this one, and I want to share my t-shirt with you today as well. So this is really weird, but doing it anyway. So it says, do what you love. And the reason why I wanted to share this message before I jumped into the documentation side of things was we've made it a priority at Northwest Accountancy over the last couple of years to ensure that everybody who comes to work does what they love. And when they do what they love, they want to come to work. And when they want to come to work, they bring their version of their best self on the day. And when you know what you're doing, you love what you're doing, and there's complete transparency over what you are doing, it makes it really easy to do your job. And this all started for me because I didn't like my job. I really, really did not like my job. I didn't like what I was doing. I loved meeting people and doing tax returns, but I actually didn't love the process of doing tax returns. For me, I needed to protect my energy, having 8 or 9 appointments every single day, having people wander in and out of my energy all of the time, and then on top of doing all of the tax returns, managing the staff, managing the team, managing the office, making decisions about running the business, it really, really got to me. And it was a real eye-opener for me when Carrie, my business manager, who's now my co-owner, turned around and said, "What else can I do?" And speaking of Carrie, here she is. So how can I support you? So in having that discussion of how can I support you, what else can I do to help run the business, I had to figure out what it was that I actually did. Some of the jobs that we had were very documented already. So reception position and how to do specific things at reception were documented because we had a high turnover of staff, but everything that I did wasn't documented. And so going down this process of how do we actually hand over work comes through to now defining what sort of person, what sort of role we want that person to fill, and then allocating on those tasks to that person, to that role, and then documenting what those tasks do so that that person can step in and get started straight away. So back in the day, we used to have a month to 6 weeks of one-on-one training to get a person up to scratch where they could actually start doing the work and making money for the business. And now it's within a matter of weeks, they're up and running, they know what's going on, all because we've got everything documented. So what I'm going to share today is our behind the scenes. So this is the process that we use at Northwest Accountancy to document our roles, to document who they are, what they do, who they will report back to, what their objectives are, but then going further and the how to do it. So I'm going to share my screen and pop on in. Now, anybody who's on the call, if you've got any questions, stick them in the chat or just speak out, because I'm happy to answer questions as I roll as well. Okay, let's get this going. Here we go. Wait for it to work. Here we go. Okie dokie. So we document all of our policies in a program called System Hub. Now, hopefully that's not flickering at your end. It's definitely flickering at mine. So I'm just going to go ahead and make the screen a little bit bigger. Here we go. So System Hub is an online program, and we use it a little bit differently to how System Hub trains, but that's okay. This is how it works for our business. And how I've got it set up is we've got a little bit of who we are, career paths, job descriptions. So I'm going to jump straight into the roles and quickly show you through what those roles are. And then from there, show you all of the links. So this being an internet-based program, everything's got its own URL. And within those URLs, we can then copy and paste those URLs into different pieces of this program. So running through, we've got a color-coded system, so yellow for admin and customer support, red for client attraction, green for delivery of services, and then the blue being the business management. So scrolling through, we've got the admin and customer support roles. Now, the roles don't necessarily reflect a person. We have multiple people doing different roles, and so one person might have 3 or 4 roles assigned to them. And what this does is it allows us to quickly, having it in this grid system, see who's responsible and who that backup person is, and then what that objective is for that role. And running through, we can go, okay, well, all of these yellow ones, they're the admin and customer support, and they're responsible for making tax easy, for ethical letters, for customer service. This one hasn't been highlighted, but that's yellow as well, for quotes and job finalizations and things like that. So we can see that I've got some different colors here, so some yellows and greens. And then we've got the next phase of the business is attracting new clients. So we've got advertising, we've got the marketing officer, networking, and then we've got the business management. So we've got a bookkeeper, an office manager, an IT manager, a community facilitator, because we've got a community bank account and we want somebody to be responsible for making sure that all of the things to build that sense of community are there. So get-togethers, birthday presents, acknowledgements, anniversaries, those sorts of things. Then we've got an innovation officer. So that's me, it comes up with the bright ideas. Human resources, staffing, training coordinators, risk management, and director being myself and Carrie. So we can see here, then we roll into the project delivery. So actually delivering the things that clients pay us for. So tax time, project manager, elevation training, which is you're here, quality control, which I'm responsible for as the tax agent in the business. Then we've got ASIC, business accountant, bookkeepers, tax assistants, tax accountants, business improvement specialists, and our onboarding manager as well. So all of these roles have been documented with the person's name, who's the backup is, and then what their main objective of the role is. And so we can see at a glance, it's got enough information in there for you to go through and go, okay, well, I've got a computer problem. Who do I talk to in the business? We can scroll down to the IT person and go limited downtime in IT, limited IT frustrations. So that is some of what we do there. So this is that high level view of how we structure our staff, how we structure the different roles, and who is assigned to those roles. Now we look closely and work closely with our with our staff to make sure that everything that's outlined in that role is right and is working for them. And we tweak it if we need to as well. So what I'm going to do is run through the marketing officer one, because I looked at this with that team member today. And we can see here that we've got a little bit of detail. So here's the objectives, and they predominantly work with social media, YouTube, Google, newsletters, webinars, and Kajabi, which is our internet hosting and membership site. So here's some key folders. So those folders or places on the internet that the person needs to go back to refer to, how many hours they're working, what their specific tasks are, And then output expectations with this one. So what do they need to do daily? What do they need to do weekly, fortnightly, and monthly? And what do they need to do as required? And some of these have links up here because they're not referenced further down. But as I go through further down, you'll be able to see that there's more detail and more description with more links as well. So this is a really good cadence for giving somebody an overview of what they want to do or what their requirements are for their job. And when I talked to my staff member on this one, she was able to tell me, yes, she does it all the time. Yes, she does it often. No, she doesn't do it at all, or she's stuck and needs some support. So by just looking at these output expectations, we were able to have a really good conversation about how to make her job easier, but also for me to see that this is how your job is supposed to happen. What are those missing links, and what sort of things do we need to train you on to get those done? So those are the output expectations. And you might call those key performance indicators as well. So if you're getting all of these done, then you're smashing your role, you're doing a great job. So those output expectations, there's a cadence there, a rhythm that we've documented that we can go, well, are you or are you doing this? Which makes it really cool. So then I'm going to just make this one a little bit sideways. So then this one has an overview of the different types of things that this marketing person would do. So tell potential clients who we are and what we do. So who we are, so our values, our ideal clients, who we are, what we do. We've then got the link, which we can then open up. And when she's telling people who we are and what we do, she can go straight to this page and get a feel for some of the words that she can use on those social posts or website or whatever. What we do, in what way, so social media and newsletters. So most of these, you can see there's a hyperlink there that links straight through to how to do the job. YouTube keeping office hours up today. This one, grow your audience, is a little bit slow on the procedure, but most of those we've realized that they probably don't need a procedure, but we've had a bit of a chat today and gone through some of how she could do things. So we can probably write some text in here rather than creating a new procedure. And then how to invite people. So invite clients to workshops. So this one will show you step by step. This is how you do it. These are the programs you use. This is how you do it. So having a documented system like this makes it really easy for us to do performance management with our staff, but also gives them that ownership of their role as well. So one of the things that we talked about was maintaining the list of templates. So I opened that one up and I said, look, these are the templates that we've got. But if I look in it, this is the old template, not the new template. So can you update it and keep it up to date so that if you're away and I want to use that template or I want to tweak that template, I can use the latest version. So that really helps. And in this one here, we've actually got links to Canva documents. So anybody who's got a link can edit it when you set it up like that in Canva. So it's got that ability to use any hyperlinks from any document, anything on the web you can use. So then further down, we've got the ability to track statistics, which she's doing, software, which I'll just scroll through, and then how to be the best. So I spoke to her about this morning. So I've documented all of this and I haven't started grading people on it yet. But if you're doing social media and you're doing the 3 times a week using the guidelines and scheduling, then you've got a basic understanding. But if you're bringing in staff and client stories and information and 15% of your sales are boosted, then we call you advanced. So we've got that set up in the background, just not using it yet. So that's we'll scroll back up to the front, up to the top. So that's the roles, and then the link through to the more descriptive section. And then further down, we've got, so that's the roles. And then further down in System Hub here, we've also got role procedures, so bookkeeping procedures, human resources procedures, marketing procedures, which all help, and then project procedures as well. So for procedures, that is client work. So we'll just jump into end of month reporting, for example. I don't know how much is in here. Actually, let me go to financial statements because I know there's lots in there. Business. So for an accountant who's coming in, who's never done financial statements before, they can start at the top and then work their way down. So we've got a guide on how to prepare financial statements, how long it will take, what documentation they need to get from the clients. We've got flight numbers or flight codes, and then we've got the statuses. So we track where all of our jobs are at with statuses, and this shows what should be happening at those particular statuses. I'm just going to go that way. So that gives us then, here's the process of how to do a business tax return. Here's how to do financial statements after the quote. Here's how to prepare and find the working paper. So we've got some really in-depth, I'm going to stop my sharing now. So we've got some really in-depth details about how we've got our work documented for ease of both hiring people, but also for ease for the staff who may or may not have experience in these areas. They can come through, they can follow the bouncing balls, they can follow the links to the different lots of instructions. And then what we do is every week we have a meeting on one or more of these procedures and go through them as a group as well to make sure that everything's up to date and current. Awesome. I'm going to stop the recording now. So thank you so much for watching the recording if you're watching, and please join for a live session if you've got any questions, because once I finish the recording, then we jump on to Q&A and you can ask anything. So